Welcome to Monday Club. It is Monday, the new Saturday. Welcome to Monday Club. I am Peter Bois. I'm here with the ever-sultry Gus Davis, and we cheers to fire and silly string today. Football season starts this week. Gus has a party with none of his friends. Road warrior advice. I almost went to Canada. Gus got lost lost a bunch of shows in a hurricane, and we have valuable knowledge to you and teachable moments. Welcome to Monday Club. How was that intro? Yeah!
Nailed it first try. Cheers, buddy!
Cheers, Gus! Happy Monday!
Happy Monday to you too, sir.
Cheers!
Tasty, tasty beverage.
Cheers! You found this again on your favorite Reddit place? You're coming up killing it on these cheers, man. Cheers to silly string and fire.
Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to do a quick public service announcement, a little PSA, and say that children catching on fire is never funny, right? It's not.
Well,
it's not funny.
Unless it's in a GIF on Reddit.
Unless it's in a GIF. That's right. Oh my god. All right, so here's the thing. People, we're going to put the link on this episode, but here's the thing. There is a little girl who is having a wonderful birthday party, and on her birthday cake they have stuck two giant candle sparkler looking things. And the parents have decided that it's a good idea to give all of the kids and parents silly string so they can shoot silly string and celebrate this birthday. And they shoot the silly string, and it hits the fire, which ignites the silly string, and she just turns into the Human Torch. Her entire hair just catches on fire. And it goes from happy birthday to you to like a scene from the movie Saw. It is terrible. Terrible.
But she's okay, so we can laugh at it now, right?
Well, now we can laugh at it, sure.
Silly string on its own, fantastic and fun and amazing and terrible to clean up. Fire on its own, mostly fun and and awesome to look at. Put them together, and yeah, that's a flaming fireball of hair that is running into the bathroom while her parents jump on her and stop, drop, and roll.
So I'm pretty sure that actual flamethrowers work on this same technology. That they have a fire source and an igniter kind of like silly string that shoots out, and that's how flamethrowers work.
Wait, you're telling me that the stuff they use in flamethrowers is silly string stuff?
It's basically silly string. Yeah. I mean, feel free to fact check me, and I welcome your emails.
They don't use napalm?
But I think that's the basic concept of a flamethrower.
Yeah, you have a flame, and then you blow some sort of really flammable shit through it, and then it goes forward and burns the hell out of whatever's
kind of like silly string and a candle.
Point taken, Gus. Point taken.
Oh my god. Well,
so they basically flame through their daughter on her birthday.
Yeah,
while she has an emoji cake of smiley faces in front of her. So cheers to that girl for not dying.
Absolutely, absolutely. And cheers to her parents discovering the flamethrower.
Yeah, and if you ever need to set something on fire quick, buy a can of silly string and a match. Oh,
dude, so all of our Monday Club listeners, here's a fun tip. Did you know that non-dairy creamer is flammable? It is super flammable.
What?
Yeah, so if you go to, an IHOP or a Waffle House or something like that, and you get the non-dairy creamer, and you pour it out, and you light it on fire, that is, it's like thermite, man. It's like that stuff will just ignite super, super quick and easy. So,
wait,
yeah, if you want a fun party trick, that's the way to do it.
If you just put it in a plate and you threw a match on it, it's going to go up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's redonkulously flammable.
I just... Wow, that's crazy. I'm going to try that. Next time I'm at an IHOP, I will try that.
Hey, well, you're welcome. You're welcome, all of you. Just you didn't learn it from me. If you get in trouble, you did not learn it from me.
This is Gus's favorite way to collect insurance money. It was the creamer, I swear. I didn't know it was flammable.
Hey, yeah, it's super flammable. Hey, buddy, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a mojito. Summer is starting to go down in flames, so I'm going down with the ship with mojito in hand, and I'm looking outside right now, and we've got a terrible thunderstorm happening, so hopefully we don't lose power.
Oh, man. Well, today, my friend, I am finishing the podcast, packing as fast as I can, and driving from Austin to Delaware. So I'm taking it real light and easy, guys, but I will say we invented a new drink this past weekend. I'm sure we didn't invent it, but it's a new drink to me. It's a little bit of the bubbly, a little bit of champagne, mixed in with some strawberry lemonade. And oh my freaking God, it is a good breakfast drink right there. So cheers, buddy. Cheers to you.
Wow, that's like a mimosa on steroids or something.
That's what it tastes like. Remember my vodka and Capri Sun?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the adult version of vodka and Capri Sun.
Wait, there's an adult version of vodka and Capri Sun?
Well, sure. I feel like vodka and Capri Sun is you're in high school and you raided your parents' liquor cabinet and that's what you could find, plus your little brother's snack, right? This is an intentional drink. It's a little bit of it's not even really that expensive champagne, but just mix that in like you would for what this thing's called?
Yeah,
Mimosa.
Mimosa.
Yeah. And mix that in with about half of this strawberry lemonade, and oh my goodness, man, my taste buds are having a party.
That's awesome. I love mimosas in the morning. Delicious.
They really are, man. They really are good.
Great way to start a vacation, too.
But maybe not a drive to Delaware. We'll see.
Maybe not a drive to Delaware.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I know. It's only, 20 hours of driving?
Oh, my God. It's 27 hours.
Oh,
it's
my
God. It's a 27-hour drive.
But
yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. If you were here last week with Nate Standaforth, thank you so much for showing up for Nate's podcast. We had a blast with Nate. He's an amazing guy. Thank you so much to Nate for coming on the podcast. Hope you guys stick around and are part of the club now. And make sure you check out what we do at MondayClubPodcast.com. All our social media's up there. Be friends with us and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and that stuff. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you want to buy us a drink for Monday, email us mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to a couple of people who have reached out and said that they are listening to the podcast. Guys, thank you so much. A shout out to Mr. Rob Balchunas, who is a balloon artist, an amazing, amazing performer. A shout out to you, man. Thanks for reaching out. We appreciate you. And then, yeah,
wait, we got a cheers to him.
Oh, here.
Yeah, Monday Club cheers to you, Rob. Thank you.
By the way, Rob has one of my favorite pieces of advertising for his show. I've seen it all over. It's become a thing I've seen on the internet. So congrats on making something that's super sticky, dude. But it is a picture of him, and it says Rob the Balloon Guy, because that's his name. And then it says underneath that, don't actually rob me. That's my name. I'm like, it's like, that's clever, man. That's clever.
That's awesome. How much could you get out of Rob the Balloon Guy? That's a good question.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But from Monday Club, please don't rob Rob. He's a cool guy. So, yeah, and also another little bit of a plea from me on behalf of me. Guys, please tell a friend. We are trying to grow the club big enough that we can have some kind of meetup somewhere and provide you guys lots of alcohol. So please, please, please tell a friend. Get them hooked on Monday Club. Tell them they don't have to hate Monday. Monday's the new Saturday. And let's all party.
Hell yeah. I'll second that, Gus.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, dude, so this has been a crazy, crazy week with the hurricane having happened and all of that. What have you been up to, man?
I've been doing some shows here and there and hanging out at home. Had a good long weekend, the Labor Day weekend with the family, just hanging out, playing with the kid. And so I'm excited. This week starts, you're hearing this probably a week behind, but football season starts this week, and the Patriots are playing the Chiefs this week in Thursday Night Football, and I'm super pumped. I'm a huge Patriots fan. Go Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. They are my gods.
Dude, you are a big Patriot fan. Like you've watched the Patriots for years and years and years, right?
Yes, I've watched them when they sucked back in the 90s. So for anybody trying to accuse me of bandwagon jumping, that is not me. I've been here since Bledsoe. They were okay some years with Bledsoe, but so I go back to Bledsoe, and then I was there for the Brady coronation when he won his first Super Bowl.
They've been on fire, right? Like they've won not four in a row, but five in recent memory.
5 Super Bowls with
That's
Tom
insane.
Brady and Bill Belichick. Yes,
that's insane.
Since 2001, that's one of the most insane teams ever.
I've got a football story for you.
All right, go.
All right, so here's my football story. When I was in college, my roommates and I, just a giant quad, 4-bedroom apartment with all dudes, and we. One of our friends was he was from Chicago, and he was a diehard Bears fan. Now, the Bears haven't had anything to cheer about in a really, really, really long time. But he was a diehard Bears fan, and so one night it was it was below 32 degrees. I mean, it was definitely freezing outside. And the Bears were playing the Cowboys. And we sat down and we were watching the game, and he just kept making these insane bets over and over again. And we were finally like, look, dude, it's not going to happen. The Bears are never going to beat the Cowboys. And he's like, look, if the Bears don't win this game, I will sleep outside tonight. And we were like, dude, it's like, it's not snowing, but it is definitely frosty outside. And he's like, nope, they're going to win. It's like, all right, man. So we took the bet. Anyway, the final score was something like 72-3 with the Bears losing. And every touchdown got funnier and funnier because it got to the point where, the cheerleaders were coming on and taking snaps and getting touchdowns. It was funny as hell. Anyway, I went to sleep. The next day I woke up to go to class, and I got my backpack on, and I walked outside, and I could barely open the door because he had moved the whole couch outside onto our balcony and was sleeping, cuddled into a sleeping bag, just shivering out there. I was like, oh, you poor bastard.
That's a good man. He kept his promise.
He did. He kept his word, man. But oh my God, it was hilarious.
Die hard. I've never done that for my team, so cheers. Good on you, man. Good on you. Last year, though, during the Super Bowl, they were down in the third quarter big time, and everybody around me said, oh, game's over. They started chatting, and I stayed focused in on the game, and I'm like, it's not over, it's not over, it's not over, and they came back. You can never count that Mr. Tom Brady out.
All right, well, listen, sports ball isn't necessarily what we talk about on this show, but I will say that there should be a standing bet, right? Are you just do you want to take any other teams, or are you just flat out Patriots or nothing?
Patriots or nothing. I predict they're going to win another Super Bowl this year. That's my prediction. And
all right, well, I'm not nearly as big of a football fan as Pete is. However, my 4 teams, because I get 4 to his championship teams. My 4 teams are the New Orleans Saints, the Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, and the Minnesota Vikings. Those are my predictions, and every week we'll see how your teams stack up real quick.
I still feel like I have a better pick than you, and you have 4.
No, you probably do. You probably do.
I'm still feeling good about this. Still feeling good. So wait, do we have a big end of the year? What happens if one of your team wins? What happens if my team wins? Do we have to? What do we have to do? Do we have to do a dance outside naked in the cold or something?
Dude, here's the thing. This is we're going to play the long game on this one. I think we let Monday Club fans decide.
Oh, good idea. Yes, Facebook tweet or email us your suggestions for what the loser has to do at the end of the year. And if we both lose, if none of our teams win, we both have to do it.
Done.
Right.
No nudity, please.
Small. Small amount.
It's maybe a small bit of nudity.
Like a nipple or two. We can do a nipple or two. I could show my tits.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, here, moving on.
What have you been up to?
Dude, this last week has been insane. The Hurricane Harvey came through the Texas area, and it happened that my whole week we had 8 shows lined up in the Houston area. And so our entire schedule got cleared up because of the hurricane. Now, I want to take a quick second, and we'll do this again at the end of the show. But certainly, my problems were the least of the problems that happened. There's a lot of people that lost all their homes, their property, and their life. So our thoughts and prayers are still with Houston, and there's some other ways that you guys can help us help those people in my home state. And again, we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But because everything got canceled, I had basically the entire week off, which was good because this week we had our housewarming party, which was awesome. It was really, really cool to have so many people come to our home. We started off thinking that maybe we were going to have 20 people show up, and our guest list ended up being over 100 people that were invited. And of those 100, 74 people showed up to our house. So,
wow.
It was awesome.
That's a big one.
It was really, really cool. And also, special shout out right here and right now to Kim and CJ, to Dan and May, and to James Caldwell, also to Emma Haining for showing up, and Reed Luneman. That was basically my group that showed up. Everyone else of that 74 people were people that were friends with Shannon or knew Shannon. So there were people coming up into my house and being like, "Hi, how do you know Shannon?"
You're like, I co-own this house.
Yeah. It was really, really weird. And I'll tell you, man, it was kind of eye-opening to see how social of a butterfly she is. She's in improv, so she's in shows all over Austin at all the different theaters. She teaches a workout class at Gold's Gym, so she had all of her people from her workout class show up, and all of the people from her office showed up. So there's just all of these people that knew her from her different circles, and all of my friends are touring magicians like this Mr. Pete Bois here. So, I would have invited you from Maine, but, we would have run out of hors d'oeuvres before you got there, and it felt really bad.
Yeah, I feel you both, she has a very magnetic and outgoing personality, and you do too. Like you said, though, but all your friends, when you go home, you're probably a little more introverted, is my guess. You kind of, hang out with the family and do stuff because you're paid to be fun and funny and likable, and which you already are. You just do it more. And I'm just throwing lots of shade your way.
Yeah, man, keep going. No, you're absolutely right, though.
Yes.
It's when I'm on the road, I tend to be way more social than I am when I'm at home. When I'm at home, I come home and I do things like mow the grass and pay our taxes and set up flights for my next event. And so I'm not nearly as social as I am when I'm out on the road as I am in Austin. And it was a little bit eye-opening. I was like, man, I should actually make an attempt to get local friends as well, but it's hard, and you know this. It's really hard when you travel a lot to set time for other people. When, like we said, when you're not paid to set time for other people.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And if you had a lot of local shows and places you were performing at locally, you would totally have that group of friends.
Yeah, I think that's true. When I did perform a lot more in my hometown, I did have more people that I interacted with, and so yeah, that was my social circle. But yeah, now my social circle is all over the place. So I had a weird thing happen to me too. I want your ideas on this. So at this housewarming party, we invited a couple of friends of Bryce's and their parents to the party, and so there were these parents of elementary age school kids that showed up, and one of the elementary school kids came up to me and said, "Hey, you're Bryce's dad. Can you do a magic trick for us?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I did the for magicians out there, the crazy man handcuff, the rubber band trick, right?
Yeah.
And now I've worked on that trick and performed that trick for over 10 years. It's a pretty standard classic piece of magic, but I did the trick. It blew them away. And I said the words when they asked, how did you do it? I said, anything you want to do, you can learn how to do by looking in a book, right? That's how I learned. I looked in a book. And they said, cool. And then they went home, and today, the day after the weekend, today, I dropped Bryce off at school, and that same kid found me and ran up and said, hey, my dad Googled how to do that, and now I can do it too, and I'm getting pretty good.
Oh, what?
Right? And it was weird. It was like, on the one hand, I was super happy that I influenced this kid enough that they took the time to go and learn a trick. On the other hand, it was like a kick to the sack to be like, yeah, I totally learned yesterday how to do that thing. I found 7 videos of it.
Caliber, amazing magic trick. And
right.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's the negative side. But it's also the plus side to magic teaching on the internet. People, Brian, our friend Brian Brushwood gets a lot of flack from a lot of magicians for some of the stuff he teaches on Scam School because they think it's too good to be taught on the internet, because magicians like to go find and go out there and feel like they've earned this secret knowledge. But when it's more readily available, people get a little pissy about it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've had a second to kind of think about what I actually feel about it. And I think what I actually feel about it is I'm really glad that it meant enough to this 9-year-old girl to go and look up how to do it and to actually practice it. I think in my own way, I feel like I did my job, that she really cared about it enough to do that.
Maybe.
I think, though, that what I need to do is when someone asks me to do a magic trick, not just do one of the tricks that is a pretty standard trick, but maybe do that and one more that is impossible to find out there. And that's my new MO for when someone asks me how to do a magic trick.
Yeah, maybe the bar is moving, though. That bar used to be going to the library, and finding a book about magic. And that used to be commonplace, easy to do. People would do that all the time. They'd go to the library and check out books. That is becoming a lot of work, so people don't do that. And now Googling something used to be super easy, and now people, after the show, they'll come up to me and say, how'd you do that? And they're like, and I'm like, I don't want to spoil it for you. And then they say, well, I'll just Google it. And I was like, and I just kind of shrug, and then they basically say, I don't know if I care enough to Google it, because they have to put effort into searching on the internet, and that's a new bar for people. It takes we're becoming so lazy. It takes work to Google something.
Yeah, I think that's true, man. I think that. If you take, I guess that's the new paradigm, right? Like, if they take the time to Google it and to actually learn it, not just be like, oh, I see, there was a thing there, cool, I didn't see that, then I think we have done a good job at whatever it is we do. Or if our real goal is to do something that completely fools the pants off them, then to elevate ourselves to a spot where we're not doing just classics or standard things that are put out there, but stuff that is that they can't find how to do. Because I had that happen twice this weekend. 2 different people said that, well, they love magic, but it freaks them out, and so what they do as soon as they see magic is they go and they Google how to do it so that they learn how to do it. And that's just a new thing for me. I've never dealt with that. Usually when you tell somebody, hey, when they ask you, how did you do it? And you say, oh, look, if you want to learn how to do it, I learned through looking at books. Like, that was the end-all, be-all. Like, no one's going to go and take the time to do it, yeah. Right? Whereas now somebody who is freaked out by magic or has an amazing experience has access to a way that they can sort of try to figure out how things are done. It was just really a weird, interesting thing that happened to me. And I'm not, again, if those people are listening, if those parents are listening, I am not sad at you at all. It was just a new experience for me.
Yeah, I had a girl last night. I did a college show last night, and she stayed after the show while I was packing up and with her group of friends, and she just was relentless. She wanted to know. It bugged her and made her upset so much that she didn't know how it was done. She's told me, I'm going to be up all night. I'm going to Google this stuff. I need to know. She had this really intense desire to know how it was. She couldn't just live in that headspace where you don't know what's going on. And I was trying to explain to her, I wasn't telling her how things were done, but I was trying to explain to her why it's a bad idea if I tell you. There was this cool video I saw on Facebook from Derek Delgadio. He has a show in New York right now, and it's an amazing show. Go see it. Changes everything in the world of magic and performance theater, in my opinion. But and he had a cool quote in there. He said, "I don't keep secrets from my audience. I keep secrets for my audience." So he's overseeing these secrets to keep this experience for them, so this experience isn't ruined. And I thought that was really interesting and insightful about keeping secrets in magic. One other thing I told her about, and I started to get through to her, I told her about J.J. Abrams' mystery box talk on TED. If you haven't watched that, go to TED and look up J.J. Abrams, and he talks about this mystery box he bought when he was a kid at Tannen's Magic. And basically it was just a grab bag of little magic tricks that Tannen's Magic Shop put together and sold for like $5 to get rid of some cheap toys, or cheap magic tricks. And he bought one of these, and he never opened it because he had this feeling that there could be the secrets to the universe in this mystery box, or there could be just crappy magic tricks. But if he opened it, he would know what's inside, and that feeling of wonder and anticipation and excitement goes away completely. But if you leave this mystery box, this black box with question marks on it, sitting on your shelf, every time you look at it, you're just reminded about the possibilities of what could be inside. And I started talking to her about this, and people have that power now with the internet. It does make it easier. They have the power to ruin their mystery or keep that feeling. And so I think we have to teach people that they do want that feeling, and teach them how to appreciate that feeling that magic gives them, so they don't want to know the secret, so they can experience that feeling of magic and keep it with them. And I started to get through to her, and she asked me to sign a souvenir, and she said, on the back of this, I want you to write the secret to the trick, right? And maybe I'll look at it and maybe I won't. So I didn't write the secret of the trick, but I wrote, "It's not magic, shh," on the back. and she held it. That side was facing the ground, so she couldn't see it the whole time while we were talking. And she kept saying, she started to understand what I was saying, because she had that feeling that whatever's on the other side of this, it could be the secret to the trick, something she wanted dearly, or it could just be nothing. But if she looked, then that feeling of that she has, while in that anticipation, that excitement of what could be, the possibility of what could be on the other side of this card, vanishes completely. And she did not look at it for the entire time I was talking to her. And we all left together, and she didn't look at it. But it was interesting, because I felt like I actually started to explain why you don't want to know the secrets to magic, because it spoils that mystery.
Dude, I think you just nailed something that was part of what was making me feel weird about that experience. And I think it was that it was a 9-year-old girl that had the, hey, I just saw some magic. Hey, I'm going to ruin that experience by Googling it now. And I guess when you're a kid, that experience of wonder that you get from a magic trick, where you really do get fooled, and you have that, oh my God, maybe the world is bigger and more complicated and more magical than I thought it was. I don't know, man. There's something about that ruining of that experience by just learning it super easy on the internet right after you see a magic trick. But on the flip side, I think it's awesome that this chick decided that she really wanted to learn something and went after it and found out how to do it and then worked for it. So, yeah, I'm not going to be an old guy. I'm not going to be like, oh, man, the internet ruins magic and all that stuff. It was just, like you said, it's a new experience that I think people are having. And I think the more access that people have to information, the harder it is to not have that idea like, oh, well, that was awesome. I'd like to learn how to do that. What do you mean I can't learn how to do that? I can learn how to do anything.
It's weird because we know both sides of the coin, right? We've been in the position of having our brains blown when, even now, there's magic tricks that completely fool me and make me feel like a child again. But we know both sides, so we know that feeling and we know what it's like to spoil that feeling. But we spoil it for ourselves so we can give it to other people because we enjoy that. So we don't want people to spoil it because we know both sides. We know what behind the curtain looks like, and it's usually not that exciting.
Right.
It's really more exciting to watch what's happening in front of the curtain. And we really that's the main reason. It's not like I'm trying to keep secrets from people because I'm a hoarding troll. I want people to keep that experience and keep that anticipation of what's in the box rather than showing them what's in the box.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box? Oh. All right, well, hey, look. All right, guys, moving on. I didn't mean that to take a whole thing. It was just really interesting. It was really interesting to me that was a new experience for me as a performer. And it was just so organic. It I was asked organically. I had those moments where you do a show that you weren't expecting and you're ad-libbing and it was just really fun and energetic, and then to find out 2 days later that she had taken that experience, kids had taken that experience and changed it up. It was just a new experience to me, and I'm going to have to sort of learn to navigate those new waters.
Yeah, I think that Nate, after talking with Nate last week, he made us way more philosophical about magic.
I think that's exactly what happened.
This is your influence,
all we're
Nate.
trying to do is sound smart like Nate.
Yeah, I just want to sound like Nate.
Guys, you don't understand. That was my best Nate impression. All right, so moving on. This last weekend, I did some new stuff. We went outside and we played wall ball. Did you ever play Buns Up when you were a kid, Pete?
Buns Up?
Buns Up.
No,
yeah.
I played wall ball.
All right,
handball.
Would you explain wall ball? Like, what are the rules of wall ball as you know them?
I don't know. The only rule I knew is you had a racket ball, and this is how we played it, and you hit it with your hand, and it had to hit the wall and hit the ground, and then the other person. It was basically racquetball with our hands because we were too poor kids to go to the
handball, basically.
Club.
All right,
yeah.
Look, wall ball
might be a different thing.
or Buns Up, as I remember from the playground, went like this. You throw the ball against the wall. It has to hit the wall before it hits anything else. Then if it bounces off the wall, and if it hits you and you don't catch it, then you have to run and touch the wall before somebody throws the ball and hits the wall with the ball. If they hit the wall with the ball before you touch the wall, then you have to get up against the wall like you're getting searched by the cops, and they get a chance to throw the ball and hit you in the butt.
Wait a second. I missed the first part. There was too many. Can you repeat that?
No, I can't. Walls and balls, all right?
I was like, screw you, Pete. I'm not saying walls and balls and buns again.
That's right. All right, so that's the way I played when I was a kid. And here's the thing. It taught me some things, right? It taught me that if I throw the ball really hard and peg somebody in the butt, then when I get out, they're also going to throw the ball really hard and peg me in the butt. So the idea of the game is, how hard are you willing to throw it so that when karma comes around and literally bites you in the ass, it all works out and you guys can play the game, all right? So Bryce comes to me and says, hey, I want to play wall ball. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's get on some wall ball. So we went outside and we're playing, and I get him out. And I was like, all right, son, get up against the wall so I can go peg you in the butt. And he's like, oh, no, Daddy, we don't play like that. That's not how we play. You just get a point. You get a point, and now we keep playing. We're going to play to 6. I was like, you mean I don't get to throw the ball and hit you at the butt? He's like, no, God, no. Why? No, you get a point. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, on the one hand, I kind of feel like that makes kids soft because you don't learn about the whole how hard you hit somebody is how hard they're going to hit you. And on the other hand, I felt really stupid because that made a lot more sense than pegging somebody in the butt with a ball.
Your child is way more advanced than you, and
he is, man. He's on that next level. On that next level stuff, I'm caveman.
We did used to play something like that with a soccer ball, and we used to have to kick it at the other person.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you grow up on the playground.
Yeah,
but no.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, dun, 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 buy buns up.
Yeah, that's right. Buy our archaic game.
So you've been on the road from Delaware to Austin a bunch, and you're doing that again. Some road warrior advice for us, Sir Gus?
Oh, yeah, man. So here's the deal, peeps. Today, right after I finish this recording, I'm getting in my car, driving out to the office, getting in our work truck, and driving from Austin to BWI and then on to Delaware, which is a 27-hour drive as the Google flies. And here's the thing. That's a really, really long drive. And if you ever have a really, really long drive, I have some suggestions for you for how to make it suck a lot less. So we're going to go through Road Warrior Advice 101 from Gus and Pete. All right, here we go. Step 1, audiobooks and podcasts. Just load your phone or your media device up with audiobooks and podcasts. They'll keep you comfortable on the road. They'll make sure your brain is occupied. Basically, your entire goal while you're on a long drive like this is to play mental pong. Just always keep your brain engaged so you don't fall asleep on the road and that you can just grind it out mile for mile. Pete, are you listening to any cool audiobooks or podcasts right now?
I am, and I am listening to. I have 9 hours and 49 minutes left of this book. It is Sufficiently Advanced Magic, Arcane Ascension, Book 1. And I know you're going to laugh at me. My dork flag fly. It's definitely a fantasy science fiction-y type book. So if you don't like this style of book, just cross it off right now. It's got a lot of, magic-y stuff, Harry Potter-y stuff in there, and it's definitely out there, but it's really good. I like it. It's an adventure book, and they use magic, and they do stuff, and I'm into it. I like it.
Did you ever read the Aragon books?
No.
Oh, well, those are some great audiobooks if you guys want to listen to those. The Aragon books are fun. Recently, I've been on a huge Stephen King and Joe Hill kick. Do you know that Joe Hill is Stephen King's son?
No, I didn't know Stephen King
Not
had
only
a
is
son.
Joe Hill Stephen King's son, but Joe Hill writes in the same style as the Dark Tower series. So he brings in elements of the Dark Tower into his novels, too.
Oh, that's cool.
I just finished Nosferatu, which is spelled N-O-S, the number 4, A-T-U, I think, Nosferatu. Like the vampire. It was a great story. I also, when I'm driving, I like short stories a lot. I've been listening to a whole lot of short stories because if it starts to get monotonous or monotone, you just have to power it out for another 20 minutes and then you get to hear another story. So audiobooks and podcasts. Besides this one, give me another podcast that you like.
Good. I do listen to Penn Sunday School, Penn Jillette, a magician. I listen to that a lot. I listen to some tech stuff on Twit Network about Apple and tech in general. Just so you know, my next book, I'm just not, is *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*. So that's my adult book next.
Oh, very nice. I've just started listening to Ask Me Another, which is it's sort of a comedy podcast. They do a lot of word puzzles inside that podcast, so it's kind of fun to play along because you can exercise your brain while you're driving down the road.
Oh, here's a great recommendation. Tell me something I don't know. It's made the creator of Freakonomics, Stephen Dubner. Freakonomics is another great podcast. Listen to that. But tell me something I don't know. If you like random trivia knowledge, this is a wonderful podcast, and they make a little game out of it, and it's fun, and you learn random things that you'll never need to know ever in your life, but are interesting.
All right, so moving on. My second piece of advice is give yourself a game to play while you're on a long drive. I don't care what it is. For me and my son, when we're on a long vacation, we play the purple car game where you get 5 points for every purple car you see. I've been in the car with Johnny Zavant, and we played the Popeye game where you're looking for cars with one headlight. Count how many cops there are on the side of the road. Doesn't matter. Just play a fun game that keeps you kind of scanning the road, and that'll keep your brain occupied while you're driving down the road. Do you play any of those while you're driving?
Nope.
All right, well, purple car game. Let's see how many we can get on this drive. Next one, and this is super huge, people. This is a big one. Hold your bathroom breaks until you get gas.
I second that. Yes.
Oh my God. I cannot tell you how many people I've been on the road with who every 15 minutes they pull over to take a bathroom break or something like that. And I'm sorry, if we're trying to get 27 hours down the road, every time you take a bathroom break, it adds 20 minutes to the time. So if you can combine gas and bathroom every single time, just make it. And snacks. Yeah, snacks, food, all of that stuff. Just make every time you stop count, because otherwise it's going to make a 27-hour drive into a 37-hour drive.
Yeah.
On that same note, this will save you a lot of time. Always stop at gas stations on the same side of your highway as what you're driving. So don't cross the highway and go back over. Again, every time you stop, it adds 20 minutes. If you cross the highway, assume that adds 30 extra minutes to your time.
Yeah, if you can't see the gas station from the highway, don't take the exit. I hate when they say there's an Irving off of this exit, and then you see the little sign at the end of the exit that says it's 5 miles to the left.
Oh, yeah, those are awful, and I just get back on the highway. I'll drive a car on fumes to not have to cross the highway. It's a big deal, and it really will save you a lot of time.
Me too.
Here's one that I think is very subtle, but it will really help you out on long drives. Always have a trash bag or a full-on dedicated trash can in your car. Tuck it in between the back seats, or hang a plastic bag off of the shifter, whatever you have to do. But I can't tell you how many times I've been in people's rental car that they've only had for 3 days, and you can barely get in for all the wrappers and the soda cans and stuff like that. That's all over the place. Don't be a pig. Get a trash can.
That's a good idea. You should put a roll of trash bags in your car. I don't do this. I need to do this. Thank you for the... And I hate it because I'll put banana peels on the floor, and then it gets in the rug and all gushy and stuff.
Oh, God.
And,
yeah. No more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No smushy banana peels.
No smushy banana peels in your carpet. Come on. All right. My next one is this. And this is really fun. If you're preparing for a long trip, make yourself a zombie killing playlist. Just go with me on this, people. All right? Make yourself a list that,
is this just
let's
in
say
case?
Just in case. That's right. And plug in all the songs that you think you would be able to just go out to. Just imagine you had a 50 cal mounted to the top of your Honda CRV, and you needed to go out there and kill some zombies. What would you want to be pumping so that you could stay in the fight, right? And if you do that and you start to get tired, just kick on your zombie killing playlist, and that'll get you to cross the finish line every single time.
What is the first song on your playlist of that? Go.
My first song. I'm a little embarrassed by this, but it's the song that's how's it go? It's a Little John song, and it's like it is the most explicit lyric song out there, but it definitely gets you fired up.
Nice. I'd have to go with probably something from Rage. Go old school. Go back to...
Oh yeah, like killing in the name of...
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. That's
good.
exactly... That's number one for me. I just got pumped. I got adrenaline running through my veins just thinking about that song. I need to go out and like mosh pit or something.
All right, yeah, zombie killing playlist. If you start to get sleepy, just crank that in. I'm going to add a bonus one here. If you can get smelling salts, like we talked about in one of the other episodes, that's also very helpful.
I have a bag of them. Man. I have a case of them in my bag right now, and I've been using them as needed.
All right, so here's my next one. Always carry cash. We live in a cashless society right now. I know you've got your Apple Pay going. You've got Android Bucks. You've got all these ways that you can pay with the credit card.
$1.
Yeah, that's right. Cash is still king when you're traveling on the road. It is so nice when you show up at a hillbilly gas station in the middle of nowhere and you can still get gas and go pee and get a snack. Because there's just times where there's no other tender that you can use besides cash. Put $40 in your wallet. It'll make your day, I promise. And it also solves a lot of problems. I've been on the road where we blew a tire, and we needed to get from the side of the road to a place that we could get the tire fixed. And I just flashed some cash at somebody who's like, "Hey, man, you got a truck? Can you pull us to the gas station? I give you $20." And they're like, "Oh, hell yeah," and took us. So
nice.
Carry cash. It'll help.
You ever walk? The more cash in your wallet, the taller you walk. Do you ever have that effect? Like,
oh no, but I'll tell you this: we do one of our shows is Beat the Banker, and for that show we have to carry $1,600 in prize cash just in case. And there was a run of shows that we did where I had 4 Beat the Banker shows. So I had like $7,000 in my pocket. It's fake. I mean, it's real money, but it's not like it's mine. We were either going to give it away or I was going to put it back in the bank. But I had $7,000 in cash, and it was a little nerve-wracking to have that much cash on me, especially when you're staying at like a Red Roof Inn, but you got $7,000 in your pocket. On that note, what we did that first night when we had all that cash is it was me and a couple of other people that were working that show, and we hung out in the hotel room. It was like a Days Inn or a Red Roof. I mean, it was a super crappy hotel if I remember right. And we started playing poker, but with real cash. So everybody started off with like $4,000 in cash, and we're just playing back and forth. And it's not real money. It's not like we got to keep it, but it was pretty fun.
Awesome. That's a great idea. Holy crap! That would feel like a baller. Just take a $10,000 out of the bank and, and invite some very trusted friends over.
Play Monopoly for real, and then shake everybody down afterwards. All right, here we go. I got 2 more. These are just for fun. My next one is this. If you have a GPS, they make GPSs now that you can talk to. You can say, "Hey, GPS, take me home," or "find a gas station," or stuff like that. What's really fun about those GPSs is you can rename them. So you can rename them to be anything you want. So you can rename them to be like, "Hey, asshole, take me to a gas station," or something like that. Anyway, being able to talk to your GPS is really, really helpful when you're driving, so you can still keep those hands on 10 and 2 and stay safe. And my last one is this. Whenever you get to a hotel, when you get sleepy and you get to a hotel, one of my favorite hotels is the La Quinta Inn, and I'll tell you why. Their checkout time standard is noon, not 11, so you get an extra little bit of sleep that you can do if you need to stay in late. And the second thing that I suggest you do, and this is at every hotel from here on out, Monday Clubbers, always, always, always request to be away from the elevator or the stairwell. Because I can't tell you how many times I've been trying to sleep and the elevator bings or dings right next to my door, or on a stairwell, kids come running down the hall and they are playing on the stairs, and it just will keep you up. So the further away that you can stay away from elevators and stairwells, the better your sleep will be.
And those are Gus's Road Warrior tips. Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road. Gus, I was in northern Maine, Calais, Maine. Was it Down East, Maine, last night for a show at Washington County Community College, and I didn't realize how close I was to Canada.
How close were you to Canada?
How I could literally throw a stone and hit Canadians over the river. If I wanted to pick off Canadians, I could do that. No, okay, the river was a little wider. I might have been able to make it a halfway across with a stone, but it was...
So not literally.
Okay, figuratively. I could figuratively throw a stone and hit Canadians on the other side of the river. I could definitely shoot an arrow across the river. That's definitely a possibility. No, I don't want to kill any Canadians. They're so nice. If I hit them with an arrow, they'd probably apologize for being in the way.
But probably.
But we
love you, Canada.
It was interesting because I saw this river here, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I wonder what's on the other side of that river. And I look on Google, and there's an international line that goes across Google. I'm like, oh, that's Canada. So, yeah, I was next to Canada, and I went.
Did you go? Did you try to cross?
No, I didn't have my passport with me.
Oh.
I went to the customs bridge area, and I took a picture of Canada and a little video for Instagram. But I didn't get to go. Now Calais is a really small town, not much happening there. But I went to this store. This is the coolest. They bill themselves as the coolest store in town, and it is the weirdest, most interesting store I've ever been to. Listen to what's in the store. I was walking through it. They had antiques. That was their mainstay, I think. They had a section of toiletries for sale. They had tuxedo rentals for sale in the back.
What?
Yeah. Or not for sale, but tuxedo rentals. There was seamstress services in a little spot over in the right-hand side. They had a henna station. In another area, and then they had a tanning bed for sale as well.
What, did they just roll the random dice and just order whatever it landed on?
Apparently, it was the most random store I've ever been into in my life. You could go get your tan, rent a tuxedo for prom, and get some henna. And get your underwear sewed up by the seamstress, and buy some deodorant at the same time. And we need a little side table that is antique-y.
Very nice,
yeah.
Very nice.
So that's where I was yesterday.
Dude, that sounds awesome, man. And hey, was it cooler up there than it was where you live, or is it about the same?
It's about the same. Maybe a little cooler. But not.
I'm looking forward to my drive to Delaware because I'm going to drive out of the heat and into like some super nice weather, I think.
It's the fall's the best in the Northeast. Everything gets dry, cool. The leaves start changing. This is my favorite time of the year, and football starts.
So, like I said, for my stories on the road, I didn't really have much road because everything got, canceled due to said hurricane. So this is my part where I want to just plug all of those families and people in the Houston area. And also, I should say, there's another hurricane that just got upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane headed towards Florida. So you guys out there be safe too. If you haven't already, or if you feel the need, you can donate super easy to the Red Cross. Just text to a short code 9099 and text the word Red Cross. It adds $10 to your cell phone bill, and that money goes directly to the Red Cross. Also, we put a link on our Monday Club website, but we have a group, a 501c3 nonprofit group that we're working with for our organization. It's called Boots on the Ground, and they're like the get it done guys. They go out there, they jump in the water, they have rafts that they go out and they just go out and rescue people. If people are in trouble, they get it done. So Boots on the Ground, you can find links to them on our website as well. And just keep those people in your thoughts and prayers, guys. It's a long haul to try to get both Houston and now it looks like Florida back up to shape. I mean, we're talking months and years to get it where people are happy and livable again.
Hurricanes. Yes.
Yeah, cheers to them.
Yeah. What he said. So last week, since we had Nate Staniforth as our guest, we didn't get to go over who won the Monday Club Challenge. For those of you...
Oh, my Goodness, yeah.
For those of you who didn't listen to the episode week before, shame on you, but the challenge was to play the Super Trooper games in our next show. The Super Trooper game is, if you remember from Super Troopers, they go up to the car and they have to work in the it's not even a word, it's a sound, meow. It's a word now that you can spell meow. Meow as many times into the conversation with the people they've pulled over. And we've changed it up a little bit, so we asked on Facebook and Twitter to send us words or phrases, and we had to integrate those words or phrases into our shows that you sent us and get as many as we can. How'd you do, man?
Dude, how fun was that, first of all, to get all of the suggestions for your show?
Oh, it's awesome. I love hearing and seeing what people come up with. It's hilarious.
I felt like I was pretty smart about this. I put the post up 30 minutes before I went on stage, which I was really glad for, because before I went on stage, I already had too many that I couldn't possibly work into. It also, not that I'm trying to back out of our bet at all, but it also happened to be that I was performing at a very religious school, like a super religious school. So half of the things that I got challenged to work in, it's like, I love you guys, but I'm not going to get kicked out of the school to say those things. But
yeah, I did
get
an
a
hour
long
before
list.
showtime. Yeah, I took suggestions an hour before showtime, too.
All right. Do you have a list of the words that you worked in?
I have a list. But do we want to go... Do we want to say how many you got out of the suggestions, and we'll come up with a winner, and then we'll go through what we had to say?
Sure.
Or do you want to do that at the end? All right.
Sure. All right. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first. You probably beat me.
I got 7.
You got 7?
I got 7.
Out of how many suggestions?
I don't know, but 7 is how many I worked in.
I got 9 out of 11.
Oh, come on!
Oh, Monday Club Challenge goes to Peter! I'm so excited. I thought I was going to lose.
Oh, damn it. All right, Pete.
I really thought I was going to lose.
Pete, you're amazing. Your prowess at language and fine arts is far superior to mine. I would like to just be the shadow that is created from the glorious ball of fire that is your entertainment skills. The fact that I charge money for people to watch me after knowing you it's embarrassing to me, and frankly embarrassing to my family, and I really feel like I feel like you make me better, my friend. You make me better, you make the world better, and I would just like to say congratulations to the winner of this challenge, Mr. Peter Bois.
Thank you very much. That was very heartfelt speech and congratulatory remarks. Thank you very much, Gus. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so what words did you work in?
All right, so I had shenanigans.
Okay.
And I got that right out of the gate in the beginning of the show. You guys ready for some shenanigans? What'd you have?
So I'm trying to find the list, but the first one that I had on my list was turnip. Turnip, nice. Okay? And so I, too, got that one out of the way right away. I walked out on stage and was like, what's up, everybody? Turn up! Turn up! Turn up! Turn up!
Oh, that's awesome. Another one was scrumdiddly, I can't even say it, scrumdiddly umptious.
That's impressive.
I do a trick with a Tootsie Pop in my show. So after they were done eating the Tootsie Pop, I said, was it scrumptiddly-umptious? I might not have pronounced it exactly correctly, but close enough.
All right, so here's my list. Turn Up was the first one. The next one that I worked in was Voldemort.
Nice.
Yeah. Then I had Banished, Joy, Cookie, Commodore, and Wombat.
Nice.
So I worked all of those in there.
That's a good one. Yeah. I had Shenanigans, Scrumptiddly-Umptious, Zippity-Doo-Dah-Day. I had that one. I had Moo, Meow. That was suggested. just gonna send it. That's a random phrase.
Okay.
Leader of Cola, a little nod to Super Troopers there. Got that one in. And here are the here are the last two that were probably the most difficult and hilarious. My fat is running away. And
how'd you do that?
I took a before my straitjacket. I take my blazer off, and I kind of do it to like sexy music as a joke. And so I took it off, and then people are applauding as a joke. And then I said, "Yep," and then I made a muscle. My fat is running away.
Nice way to work it in.
Thanks. And the last one was gone like a fart in the wind. I made my pair of thumb cuffs vanish, and after they vanished, I said, "And they're gone like a fart in the wind," really dramatically.
Oh man. Well, hey, again, kudos to you, sir.
Thanks.
That was a fun game. That was a fun challenge, and two, way to work those in. I'm impressed. I am truly impressed.
Check in the show notes. I have a video. I haven't posted it yet, but it'll be posted by the time this is up. So I have a video of this, of all these.
Of you working those in?
Yeah. So you'll be able to see that show.
Cool.
It's not the greatest audio, but whatever. You'll get it.
Yeah. James, it was so funny. James was sitting to the side of the audience back at the tech booth running the show, and every time I worked something in, I did like this cheesy grin right at him, and he was just shaking his head the whole time.
It was difficult to remember. I put a list. I made a list in my notes app and took a picture of it and put it on my as wallpaper for my phones, and I had to check back into my showcase all the time. So I was like running back there at opportune moments to try to see what's next on the list, and it was very difficult to obtain these because I couldn't remember them all.
Right.
I had to, so that was the most annoying part of it. I wish someone had cue cards in the back. It would make it so much easier to get these done.
Yeah, so here's what we need to do. We need to charge more so we can have somebody paid so they can just stand in the back holding up cue cards of all this bullshittery.
Yeah. Let's do this again sometime. Hey,
totally. It's
didn't
fun.
we
It's
bet?
a fun game.
Didn't you have a wager on this?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Okay. All right. I'll take your wonderful adulations.
All right. But next time we will.
Teachable moments.
That jingle gets better every time.
I know. I love it. My teachable moment this week is always travel with your passport. Like I mentioned earlier, I was close to Canada yesterday. I could have had lunch in Canada, and that would have made it a better story. But I didn't have my passport, and they wouldn't let me in. So anywhere you go, and just have it in your bag, and you'll always be ready to travel internationally.
Yeah, I always travel with my passport. And one of the nice things, this happened to me one time. I lost my ID. I had left it at a club that we were at the night before and caught the early 5 a.m. flight. And so I get to the TSA to try to get in through security, and I can't find my freaking ID. And but I have my passport, which gets me through just fine, and then I could deal with having lost my ID. So, yeah, travel with your passport always. You never know when you're going to get a chance to go to Canada and party it up.
Boom. That's good advice. I should have followed it.
All right, so my teachable moment is this one. This is a great life hack. I hope you use it and it gives you as much joy as it has me. Never, ever, 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 for any reason ever, say it's great to meet you. Just take that completely out of your vocabulary. Don't ever say it's nice to meet you, because you never know if you've met somebody before or if they think that they know you, right? So instead, I always say, hey, it's great to see you. Even if I've never met you before in my entire life, I'll say, hey, it's great to see you. And that makes people feel like you actually care about them. And especially people that you've met before will say, oh, yeah, it's great to see you again. And at least, even if you don't remember them, that gives you a clue that maybe you've met this person before. Now, why do I say this is my teachable moment? Because I didn't follow my own stupid advice this weekend, and I went to a party. It was on this past weekend. I went to a party. I walked in the door. There's a lot of people there. There was a dude just standing around, and I was like, "Hey, dude, it's great to meet you. I'm Gus." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the drummer in your band." And I was like, "Oh, great." So, Matt, if you're listening, dude, of course I know who you are. You were wearing, like, you had a different haircut, and I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't follow my own advice, and I love you, buddy. Sorry about that. I feel like a douche.
That's hilarious. Dude, I have the same rule. That is a very, very good rule, especially since we meet people a lot for our jobs and whatnot. And every once in a while, I don't follow it, and that exact same scenario happens to me. And
every time.
Yeah.
I'm always sad at myself every single time I don't follow that rule. It's like the other day I went to go load into an event. I saw this girl that I could swear to you I've never seen before in my entire life. I was like, "Hey, I'm Gus, and you are?" And she's like, "I'm so-and-so. You know, the coordinator of this thing that you've done for 4 years in a row, and that I've met you at all of our conferences, and that you said you wanted to talk after the show about this thing." And I was like, Yep.
Great
I'm
to
the
see
ass.
you.
Yep.
Great to see you. That's what I meant to say.
And on that note, friends, it's great to see you guys on Monday Club. We love you. We'll see you next Monday. You guys be safe out there.
Thank you all so much for being part of Monday Club. Make sure you tell friends about Monday Club so they can join the club. Check us out at MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast, at Monday Club Pod on Twitter, at Monday Club Podcast, Instagram. Email us questions, comments, concerns. Buy us a drink through PayPal, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Special thank you to James Caldwell, our amazing sound engineer. And, of course, tip of the hat to Zach Holder for our amazing music. Enjoy your Monday. Have a couple for us.